going through the motions each day instead of, really like designing your life.
Oh, absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, right? We forget to actually, well, step back and think about the bigger picture.
Exactly. But what if I told you there's a system for that? And not just for like the big things, like changing careers or moving across the country, but for like even those seemingly small everyday moments.
And that's the beauty of this system. It's about bringing that mindfulness, that intentionality to everything, literally everything we do.
We're diving into life coach Lynne Durham's work today, specifically her learning and growing evaluation worksheets.
Yes.
It's actually normally part of her $7 course.
Yes.
But for our listeners, it's available like right now for just $4.
And you know what's really cool about Durham's approach? It's not about waiting for those big milestones to analyze our lives, like those big birthdays or New Year's resolutions. It's about making these micro adjustments as we go, constantly learning and growing from every experience, even the, let's say, less than ideal ones.
It's like having a personal growth journal in a way,
Yeah.
but with like a very specific structure, a framework for actually making changes instead of just like journaling about it.
Structure is key, and that's where Durham's 3-step process comes in. What went well, what didn't work, and what you'll do differently.
Okay, so simple enough,
Yeah.
right? But don't let that fool you. It's way more powerful than it might seem at first glance.
I agree.
One thing I love about this is it starts with the positive. What went well?
Oh, yeah, and that is no accident. Durham intentionally designed it that way to combat something called, it's called negativity bias.
Negativity bias. Okay, tell us more about that. I like that.
So negativity bias is our brain's natural tendency to focus more on negative experiences than positive ones.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Think about it. Which sticks with you longer, a compliment or a criticism.
Ouch, yeah. The criticism usually wins.
Exactly. It's like it's got this superpower, right? And that negativity bias, it can really sabotage our personal growth because we get stuck in this cycle of self-criticism, right? Instead of celebrating our successes and learning from them.
So by starting with what went well, we're kind of like intentionally shifting our perspective to a more positive and empowering place.
Exactly. You're setting the tone for the whole process.
Yeah. Okay, so we're priming our brains for positivity with this what went well. I like it. But then how do we move into the, what didn't work part without like spiraling into that negativity bias? We just talked about that. How do we avoid that?
It's all about the wording.
Yeah.
Notice how it's not, what did I do wrong?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that subtle shift in language makes all the difference in the world.
Because it takes the focus off of like self-blame. It's not about you.
Exactly. It becomes about analyzing the situation objectively. It's not about, attacking yourself. So, for example, let's say you had a presentation at work, right? And it didn't go as well as you hoped.
It happens.
Oh, it totally happens to the best of us. But instead of saying like, "Ugh, I'm a terrible presenter," which, side note, is super unhelpful, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
You might say something like, okay, that presentation lacked a clear structure, which made it, hard for people to follow.
Ah, so you're identifying the actual problem, not like making it a personal attack on yourself.
Exactly. It's about being kind to yourself in the process, but also being honest. And once you've, objectively looked at what didn't work, then you're ready for that, like, most important step, which is what you'll do differently.
Okay. This is where the rubber meets the road, right?
100%.
This is where we turn reflection into action.
Yes.
And this is where I think a lot of us, stumble a bit.
Oh, for sure.
We have the best intentions, but then life.
Accountability. And she does this by emphasizing specificity and actionable steps. So it's not enough to just say, oh, I'll be more organized.
Right.
You need a concrete plan. So instead of just be more organized, it's, okay, I'm going to create a to-do list every morning. Or I'm going to finally start using that task management app I downloaded.
I'm going to actually open that app.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like that old saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish.
That's a good one.
Right? And here's a really, really interesting tidbit from Durham's work that I love. She actually encourages people to focus on just one thing they'll do differently.
Really?
Especially when they're like tackling a big area for improvement.
See, I would think that it would be like faster to, try to change multiple things at once, like go big or go home.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we tend to think. But think about it. Lasting change. It's about forming new habits. And that takes time and repetition. If we're trying to change like a million things at once, we're just setting ourselves up for, well, Overwhelm and failure.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Right.
Because you're not really fully committing to anything if you've got your hands in too many cookie jars, I guess.
Exactly. And Durham's all about sustainable growth, not quick fixes.
I like that.
Yeah. And in her words, she actually says, you might only be able to implement one thing differently. Repetition and awareness brings growth and change.
So it is about those micro adjustments. We were talking about those earlier, right?
Right.
Like those little tweaks we make over time that ultimately they lead to the big results. It's kind of like, if you think about it, how those like tiny course corrections from a GPS,
Yes.
they can guide you to a destination that's like miles and miles away.
100%.
So we're making those micro adjustments. We're like zeroing in on just one thing to do differently. But then how do we make sure those changes actually stick? You know, because we've all been there. We set a goal
Right.
with the best intentions, and then life happens.
Oh, it's so true. Consistency it's like the biggest challenge when it comes to, personal growth, really.
Yeah.
And, one thing that can really, really help is accountability.
It's interesting you say that because I noticed Durham, she actually touches on that in her material. She's got that, she mentions an upsell offer for a short course,
Mm-hmm.
and it dives deeper into these evaluation techniques
Oh, nice.
using videos and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And, while the worksheet itself, I mean, it's incredibly valuable, but that extra layer of support
Mm.
can be like a game changer
Totally.
for a lot of people. It's like having, a personal trainer. But for your, like, personal growth journey,
I like that.
they're there to, like, cheer you on, keep you motivated, and hold you accountable.
Yeah, because let's be honest, we all love a good motivational boost every now and then, right?
Absolutely. We're human.
Speaking of motivation, I love that Durham encourages us to think about like our future selves,
Oh, yeah.
thanking us for the changes that we're making today.
Such a powerful visualization technique. It helps to like connect our present actions with, our future well-being. So instead of just like going through the motions, we start to see each day as this opportunity to like really invest in the person we want to become.
Yes. It's like sending a thank you note to your future self,
Yes,
except you're the one who gets to like make good on those thanks.
you got it.
So to wrap up, if we think of Durham's method as this, like, we were talking about it earlier, as this personal growth GPS,
Yeah.
her learning and growing evaluation worksheet, it's like getting this free upgrade
Yeah.
to our navigational system.
Yes, it's like the premium version.
And then, for those who want that, like extra guidance, there's always the option to like, level up even further. With her short course,
Exactly. You get to choose your adventure a little bit.
I like that.
But the best part is you can start applying these principles like today
Yeah.
to any area of your life. And remember, personal growth, it's not about like reaching some final destination, It's
Mhm.
about enjoying the journey and making those like small course corrections along the way.
That is beautifully said. So tell me, what resonated most with you from our deep dive today? And what one thing will you commit to doing differently starting today? Keep that in mind as you move through the rest of your day. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and as always, keep diving deep.